So welcome back to my channel again. Now I am going to make the chi-square this table using a pivot table. It is the fast and easiest ways to create this table using pivot table because rather than using that count if functions, it is easy to create pivot table and pull out the data from the pivot table directly into this table. And we can go ahead. Let's create a pivot table. Click on the data. Same procedures, nothing to no other different methods. Create a pivot table using the data. This data is already selected. So give an existing location. Click on OK. Oh, sorry, I was not given the location. Click the location anywhere. Then click on OK. So the pivot table field is ready now. Then we need to give gender to the rows and coffee to the columns. So we can see the data is present here and we need to give gender to the values. So we got the count of this males, females who have taken cappuccino, have taken cold coffee in a pivot table. Now next step is to pull out the data from the pivot table. So I have given here male, female, and here the pivot table is given female and male. So while we select data, you should look the data clearly and pull out the data. Also here there's cappuccino, then cold coffee, but I have given cold coffee as first and cappuccino as second. So for my first value, click on here, give equals. Then I need cold coffee and cold coffee drunk by males. So cold coffee drunk by males. We can see here is an equation. While we write an equal to and click on pivot table, we will get an equation like this: get pivot data, which means getting the pivot data from the pivot table, and which is given here: gender, K9, coffee, cold coffee, gender, male. Everything is same like that count if function, which means pulling out data from the then presenter. So we can see the answer is here. Next we need to choose the cappuccino drunk by males. So click on here, press enter. Then we need here the cold coffee drunk by females, press equals, then cold coffee drunk by females, which is here. Again we need equal to, press cappuccino females, press enter. So we got the answers correctly. Then again find the sum for all these and pull out sum also from there, but I'm not going to pull out from there because there is sometimes you need to check everything clearly. So remove this equation, give equals sum, press tab, then select this, click on enter, then drag this out. So we can see our table is exactly the same as our previous video. Okay, so now you have seen all the data. While we give in the first table, the expected frequencies has been calculated automatically. So which means if we automated equations like this, we can automate easily. Which means I have already worked in the same Excel sheet which I was working on last previous video, and I didn't remove contents from here, and I just dragged only the observed frequencies, and here all the contents were same, and while here the values came automatically. Expected frequencies was also calculated, which means there was an equation here. Then press enter. You can see here If we remove one value from here, everything will remove. Then I wanted that value back. That's why I press Control Z undo. Okay, so here also the equation was already previously set it. So when it was automated, you can see the results. Then chi-square test statistic value also it was here, and number of rows -1 into number of columns -1, which is degrees of freedom. And we can do here one thing, we can remove all this, and once more we can find solution for this. Just press. So now again back to our analysis part, we can see degrees of freedom and p-value. We need to calculate p-value equals chi-square. I'm taking chi-square test, which means my actual range comma my expected range. So we got the chi-square statistic value also, p-value also. Here is it is a sum of this. Chi-square test statistic value is the sum of each and every chi-square observations. Then press enter. So we got the degrees of freedom here. Here we have got the p-value. So accordingly, while we give the p-value equation over here, we can see there was a change here. We was taken except h0, which means the gender and co-free both are not associated. So here we choose the h0 as, which we have got except h0, which means coffee and gender are not associated. Just paste it over here. So this is our final result. So these are the procedures to find chi-square analysis using pivot table.